Hi, my name is Scott Gibson with Beneath the Surface. I'm here with Sean Rakhimov of silverstrategies.com. Sean, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Scott.
You're a silver expert, silverstrategies.com, but I wanted to get your take on both precious metals, both gold and silver. What's your expectations over the next 6 months, 2 years?
In the short term, the metals are looking weak, and I don't like the action in the markets, both in gold and silver. But beyond that, beyond the next few months, obviously both the metals are kind of trading on the charts, forming some kind of triangle shape. So there is a possibility they're going to break down in the short term. However, the fundamentals couldn't be better for either metal. The demand for physical metals is very robust, particularly in silver, but on the gold side from central banks in particular. So I expect, in the next few months them to firm up and probably move to the upside. Further down in the next 2 years, probably both the metals are good. Particularly silver probably is going to appreciate several fold. I expect a massive move. Gold will also probably trade in 2000s, maybe mid-2000s, the next 2 years. Maybe higher. It depends on all kinds of geopolitical events, financial events, other there's tensions with North Korea and some other places. So the medium-term outlook is very positive.
And what would you say is your sort of one main issue that you look at when drawing those conclusions of the prices going forward, that we're going to have the significant appreciation after, having the pullback in the metal prices and trading in a range for quite some time?
Well, that's quite normal for both gold and silver. They go up for about 6 to 8 months, and then they consolidate for about 2 years on average. But when they do go up, they go up, 100 to 100%. Particularly silver, I'm talking, that's my kind of bailiwick. And gold also has very robust moves as well. And then they consolidate, they back and fill. But I do believe that the market, the general bull market in precious metals is maturing, and we will probably see the acceleration of the trend upwards.
So that the moves will come quicker and faster and to higher highs?
Or at least they're going to be more dramatic. I think there's still going to be a lot of volatility. And we should not forget that these are the two metals that are more financial instruments than, commodities. At least that's how they trade on Wall Street. They trade on the currency desk, actually. And and they're fear-driven. So this is a safety investment. In fact, the catalyst for gold, I think, is going to be driven by both the currency problems out there, as well as the questions in the bond markets. And on the silver side, I think, same reasons, but more importantly, it's poor man's gold. So that, the current demand for physical is roughly equal in dollar value, which means you're putting at least 50 times more money into, or more ounces. You're taking off more silver ounces than gold. So the demand is overwhelming on the physical side for silver, which will eventually propel it higher, much higher.
And gold price has been and the metals prices, gold and silver, have been floundering, trading in a range for the last little while. If what happens, you expect that we have this breakout over the next 6 months or 2 years significantly to the upside, that would imply good moves on the stocks, wouldn't it? Specifically large caps down to the juniors? Yes,
I think the stocks are very overdone. They're trading very close to 2009, after the '08 crash levels. Usually the way that things work with the equities is the large caps move first because they're the ones with production, cash flow, good balance sheets, etc. And then it moves down the chain from there. I do believe the junior market may take longer to recover, particularly because financing is hard to come by these days. So on the flip side, if there are some good discoveries, that may ignite the junior sector as well.
And what's your take if you were to look at investing in the silver space, which is your space, in the security space? Which stock would you like? Something that maybe is somewhat safer in the metal space right now and still has the upside going forward of a junior and the leverage that you might get with the exposure to the silver price?
Well, if you're looking at equities, right now everything is cheap. Literally everything. But the first place I would look at in this market at producers, and they're all trading at very good valuations. And then within that, I believe that the growth companies will do better over time. Somebody or some companies that have cash flow, hopefully have earnings, and have a growth profile. For instance, I believe that First Majestic has been performing the way it has relative to peer group for that exact reason, because they have a very good pipeline of projects that they can bring online, and they're working on that. And the analog to that in the gold space would be a company like Gold Corp. You know, in the recent years or in the recent past, they've, while producing about half the amount of gold that Newmont was producing, they were trading at a higher valuation market cap. Yamana would fall in that group, the growth company.
And of those three companies you mentioned, just full disclosure, I don't own any of them. Do you own positions in those?
No, I don't.
Okay. And what about moving to, say, a smaller cap than that? I don't know, mid-tier or smaller, is there something that in the producing space on the silver side makes sense to you?
Well, see, in the silver space, there's not a lot to choose from. I think they come in batches. So the first group was, you know, the companies like First Majestic, like Endeavor Silver, and you know, they're kind of maturing now and kind of coming into their own. They have built their mines, you know, they've grown quite a bit from the early days. And I believe we're looking at the new crop of these companies. Companies like Silvercrest, which is one of my favorites, and full disclosure, I have a position and I'm a big fan of the company. I have been for years.
I do not have a position, but yeah, I'm a big fan of the company too. I have in the past.
And there's some others that just going into production. So I think those companies, assuming all goes to plan, they will be revalued. So I think you have to be picky because generally precious metals are a safety trade. You want to probably stay closer to producers or very near-term producers, or the ones that, you know, just went into production but haven't had the market reflect that yet. But the ones that would have cash flow, say, in the next 12 months.
Well, and it really, like you say, it's a stock picker's market right now. You got to be very selective of what companies you're getting into, do your due diligence, acquire very prudently. And that's also why I like having people like yourself on the program to get your perspective on what you're liking. So thank you very much for being with us, Sean. Again, that's Sean Rakhimov of silverstrategies.com. My name is Scott Gibson with Beneath the Surface. Thanks for being with us.